Hey guys, it's Ben the Coin Geek at Old Pueblo Coin in Tucson, Arizona. Thanks for being here today for one of my favorite things to do, questions and answers. And first, a couple quick updates. I will be at the Indianapolis show the weekend before Thanksgiving. This is 2025 for those of you who are catching this just kind of at a random time. And then the third weekend in October, we'll be over at the USMX show in Scottsdale. That's like the 16th and 17th. I should have exact dates for you, but you get the idea. usmex.org, you can look it up. A fantastic show to go to, even if you don't collect world coins. It's super geek out time, and it's a great time to go. Updates, Tucson Coin Show in January. Come on down. Room rates, our code is 10197, or you just call them up, the Casino del Sol, and say, hey, I'm calling for the Tucson Coin Show, and get those room rates. It's a good time. Anywhere from about, I think, $139 to $159 a night. No parking fees, 7 eateries on campus. It's a good time. Annex will be coming, giving us some sample slabs. I might have something a little juicy about sample slabs, but I'm not allowed to say. All right, let's get into the questions here. All right, unfortunately, CAC slabs do not fit in my wood coin chest that houses my PCGS and NGC holders. They are just slightly too large. This is a PCGS box. This is a PCGS box on drugs. Any questions? That's like an old commercial. This is a CAC box. I'll line them up here so you can get the feel. So it is quite a bit different in size. And that's one of those things, right? Their designs for their coin holders affects the design for everything else. And it's kind of frustrating if you collect multiple coins and different types of holders. You have to find a different way to house them. I would recommend, there's actually a cardboard box that we use when we travel. It's just a double row slab box. Doesn't have any of the dividing lines in between, and you just put the coins against one another. It's why we put all of our coins in the plastic sleeves, so our slabs don't rub and get dirty. A lot of dealers will use those types of holders, but then they just are constantly rubbing the plastic together. Not good. All right, Steve says, why not a bimetallic version of the 2026 gold and silver semi-quincentennial coins and metals? You know, for us poors. I think what would be awesome, hopefully they'll do this, I don't know, maybe they'll have a few tricks up their sleeve. It would be great to do a couple of things that are circulating and some circulating rarities. I found that the special mint marked quarters that went out really had a positive effect overall in the coin community. I just thought it was fun to be able to find something and change that was different or unusual. You know, you guys can leave your comments down in the comments section of any video, and we look over those and I can comment on them. Or I guess you could probably just call. Let's see what's going on here. This is like we are quite a ways from opening. Old Pueblo Coin. And we're back. All right, so touchdown number 75 says, when you send coins in for grading that are already graded, do you take them out of the slab so they aren't influenced by the previous grade? So if you have coins that are already certified and you're going to send them in, there's two different options. Basically, you can do, well, there's three. If you're going from one company to the next, you can do what's called a crossover, in which case they're specifically being asked, this coin is MS64, I want it in an MS64 or possibly higher grade. Yes, that's obviously influencing them. If you're sending it back into the same company, you can do what's called a regrade, and you can go ahead and send it in the holder and say, can you look at this again? But certainly for the most part, if you're going to send a coin in to attempt to get a different grade on it, usually we call that a crack out, where you're cracking it out of the holder and you're sending it into the company in a raw format instead of in a holder. And I think that this is something that, that's usually how people do things. All right, whoa, Cassidy, what is the earliest coin series where you have seen the Cameo designation? And I wonder if there is a Cameo Mercury Dime or SLQ. Okay, so SLQs, you're not ever going to have a Cameo because there aren't any proofs. Mercury Dimes is tricky. We actually did a video about trying to collect Mercury Dimes in proof that are actually Cameo. wicked hard stuff. Very difficult, very difficult. And to answer the first question, as far as like your earliest coins, Cameo designations, some of the earliest proof coins do have Cameo designations on them. So early 1800s. I don't know of anything from the 18th century, so the late 1700s stuff. But some of our earliest coins can get a Cameo designation on them. Anytime you have a proof coin that has that nice black and white finish to them. All right, let me see here. Ross Bobo, is this the last year for Kennedy halves? If yes, what replaces it? 2 quarters, 5 dimes, maybe? I've not heard that this is the last year for Kennedy halves. The rumor, of course, is that there won't be any pennies in 2026, but that may still happen. That was kind of a, what would you call that? Leaking information so you can get a reaction from the public, maybe? I think that's what's going on there. All right, let's see. Lester 42, are you carrying inventory to Indianapolis? Hope I'm able to get away from the grind and come and see you. That'd be awesome. Yes, I will have inventory at the Indianapolis show the weekend before Thanksgiving. Looking forward to being there and setting up. And if there's anything very specific you want to look at, you may want to contact the shop, send an email to staff@oldpueblocoin.com. Of course, things can sell before then, but also if you want to purchase something from the website leading up to that and I can bring it to the show, that's a possibility as well. Also, I can't carry a lot of stuff. So the concept of like, hey, Ben, can you make sure you're bringing this Peruvian coin or something? That's worth asking because I have to try to edit down to a small amount of inventory to bring with me. All right, we got this one. I'm not going to try to say. It is my opinion that the grading services have the ability and do artificially control coin prices. So depending on what the user means by this, sometimes we do talk about the coin companies kind of protecting grades. If there's a coin that there's a ton of them in MS65 and only one in MS66, you always get the feeling that they're really not going to put another coin in a 66 holder unless it's like just a 67. You know what I mean? Like, so there is some of that. So if they're in, if that's a little conspiratorial. I haven't been in any rooms where people do that, but I do think that an extra critical eye is given when a coin is ready to go into a top pop, the finest known kind of category. Artificially controlling coin prices and like the big picture, I would not agree with. Generally speaking, there's too many coins out there, too many graded coins out there. They don't really control pricing per se. The market still does. They can price an 81S Morgan dollar and MS65 at $1,000 all day, but go on eBay and you can find them because there's a lot of them available. Right. All right. Thanks for the comment. Remy, I've seen a couple of big YouTubers make a segue into Whatnot lately. Kind of a given that you'll get there eventually. Oh, challenge accepted. No, I do not have a plan to get onto Whatnot at this point in time. So I feel like now I really can't because I've been called out. Still not a format that I'm comfortable with. I tried to get onto Reddit, which is a completely different subject. Because I thought, well, this is a marketplace that could use information. And then I realized how it functions. I'm like, I'm not going to sit here and do message board stuff all day long. That's not really my thing. And so selling things live on Whatnot doesn't make a lot of sense to me just because like the amount of labor that goes into it versus the difference in how much more you may or may not make. I mean, you can sell, the MO for Whatnot is that you can sell a lot of inexpensive coins for a lot more money. That's one thing. But then also you can undersell coins that are more expensive. And so there's a balance there. All right. Let's see, Jason saying part of the magic of coins is holding history in your hands. Just wondering where it's been, what it's been used for, what bar fights it was lost in, etc. If the mark is part of that history, it deserves to be preserved and documented. So thank you for all of your comments on the video about, let's raise this up a little bit, huh? So this is really funny. I don't know if anyone else has noticed that I've just gradually shrunk down here. That's not a magic trick. I have this table and it's broken. It slides back down on its own. It's like a timer to set me off. So we had a video that we did about one of the third grading parties removing a coin from a holder after they had slabbed it, and they put it on their social media content because it has a Manji on it, which looks like a swastika, but it goes the other direction. And to clarify, the first item I held up in that video was a little silver incense burner that actually had the swastika shape, so it was going the same way as a swastika. That is not a Manji. Technically, it goes the other way, but the symbol has been used in many cultures for many years, and of course, for as long as they've been around, Nazi German coins have been certified. So there's that. I want to thank all of you for your comments and thoughts on the subject, because I thought for the most part people were very thoughtful and considerate, and I appreciate that. It is holding history in your hands, and the idea behind coin grading isn't just to get a grade on a coin. I still think it's, to Jason's point, we're talking about preserving history, and so to me, preserving history is like a really important part of this entire thing. A lot of comments about this. In North Korea, the symbol holds a distinct meaning compared to what it did in the Nazi era. Grading companies should thoroughly consider the multifaceted nature of the symbol's representation. Joe says, Annex refused to slab a medallic art company produced in 1939 Czechoslovakia shall be free again metal for me because it includes the swastika, and Czechoslovakia was occupied at the time, and the metal was produced for the World's Fair in Numista N181064. Mind you, this is a metal slabbed and cataloged by both NGC and PCGS. Annoying. Yeah, so there's that. Mark saying, I only expect them to be consistent. In my opinion, chop marks are damage and all should be labeled details. The type of mark makes no difference. Damage or altered surfaces is details, whether intentional or not. That's a whole nother video on whether or not chop marks should be considered detailed coins. I don't consider chop marks to be detailed coins. It's because you have all the counter stamps that have also come out over time. So it's kind of sneaky, right? What was the chop mark used for, right? Because today you can get all those pennies that have like the state shape of the state like stamped on it. So yeah, that's damaged, right? But also that was by some mail order marketing company. But when a coin has actually been revalued by another country or by the same country with a counter stamp, that's actually a part of the coin process. And to me, counter stamps are the same. That's counter stamps, but also chop marks are the same thing, right? Someone is labeling a coin that this is good here, and it's a part of the history. So maybe I don't need its own video. Well, maybe I'll make its own video. All right, Shoeless, interesting case as someone who works in branding and marketing. I get the concern that the company has, but this feels more like the Streisand effect. If they had said nothing, nobody would have thought anything of it. I had to mention this because the engineer said the exact same thing. He said, this is going to be the Streisand effect. And I said, what's the Streisand effect? I thought it's just like screeching on your ears, but no, that's not what he meant. There's actually a case where, there's a thing going on and she made a whole big legal battle out of it. And then all of a sudden everyone was aware of it. So anyways, thanks for that comment. Did Benoit, did they at least pay you and get the coin back and grading fees back? Yes. They did not charge us for any of that stuff, right? And Mike's saying this is a tough one. It's such a polarizing symbol that was perverted by one group of people, but still positive to others. Yeah, and I understand it being polarizing, but also I think I fall onto the history side of this for the most part. This is a private company. I don't agree with what they did, but they have the ability to do it how they want to. It's true, but to that early comment about someone saying, the grading company's controlling pricing, that's not necessarily a thing in my opinion, but also when you've decided, hey, we're not going to house certain things or put certain things in holders, I have a whole nother video to make about this topic because there's more besides just this item that we have to talk about. Yeah, private companies can do what they want. I understand that. All right, the framed Eclipse Milling Company sign is super cool. Does it say $300 on it? This desk keeps falling, so we're just going to go look at a framed framed Eclipse milling. Yeah, this does say $300 on it. So just come on down to Tucson and we'll get that going for you. Finally, going on to the video about speaking of counterstamped coins, right? The interview I had with Noah at Rarity 7. This comment from Jerry says, in my opinion, that would be something that would be nice to be at the A&A Museum or Smithsonian, with the provenance and the story for all numismatists to enjoy, being it is a one of one. Well, hopefully people can always enjoy it because it's on the YouTube for who knows how long, until YouTube's, I don't know, how long is YouTube going to be around? Forever? Probably not, Ma Bell. But that would be a great piece to have in something like the Smithsonian or the A&A Museum. And I don't know who donates. I don't know how that works. I don't know how they acquire a lot of the things that they have. So, all right, guys, thanks so much for being here today. As always, leave your comments down below. I'm Ben the Coin Geek. You can subscribe by clicking on the owl button in the corner and watch more videos on the right side of the screen. Thanks.